Hi everyone, and welcome back. My name is TCGO, and today we're doing a deck profile on Fang of Light Garmore. Now, it's been a little while since my last video, it's been about a week, and now I'm sorry about that. I'm not going to let that become a habit. I want to release more videos whenever I can. So, that out of the way, I want to just get straight into this deck. It's one of my favorite decks to play. I just love playing this deck. And it is based around Fang of Light Garmore. Now this unit has 3 abilities, and all 3 of them are vital in why this deck works so well. Starts with during your turn, this unit gets plus 1000 for each of your Snoggles and Broogles. Now, Snoggles and Broogles also have the same effect, so all these units gain more power the more wolves you have in play, the more Snoggles and Broogles. And that's why I like to call this deck Wolf Pack, which you'll see in the name of the deck. But yeah, the more you get down, the stronger it gets. Now, when you place this unit in Vanguard or Rearguard, you can discard a card from your hand to call a Snowball from your deck. So he comes with a built-in way to bring out more of these wolves. And usually you're just going to discard something that's no longer useful in your hand, a grade 1 you don't need, or an extra grade 3 that you're not going to play down. And probably the most important part of this deck is that all of your Snoggles and Broogles get Intercept. So on top of your 13 grade 2s that all have Intercept, your grade 1 Snoggles will also have Intercept, as well as your grade 0 starter, Broogle. So this deck just has a lot of ways to keep the defense going. And you're going to see all the cards in this deck will work together to create something that has a lot of offense and defense built in. So we're going to go into the deck, starting from the grade 0, is the Broogle. Like Garmore and like Snowball, during your turn, this unit gets plus 1000 for each of your Snoggles and Broogles. So the more you get down, the bigger a booster he's going to be. And for the Counterblast 3, you can call a Broogle. Not from the deck, since you can't have another Broogle in there. It just spawns a Broogle. Usually you want to use your Counterblast for Blaster Blade, but this is a good option, just in case you're in a tight spot. So with him out of the way, are the grade 1s. We're going to start with the most important one, is the Snowball. During your turn, this unit gets plus 1000 for each of your Snoggles and Broogles. Again, same effect. And that's all he does. But remember that all these units are going to get stronger the more of him you have in play. And these big power boosts are going to be really helpful, especially in the late game. The other grade 1s you're using are 4 copies of Marin, simply because he's an 8k booster, and when you combine him with Palamidus, which I'll get to later, I probably mispronounced that, Palamides? Anyways, when you combine him with that, you're going to make a 21,000 column to hit any boosted Vanguards. So that's why we're playing 4 of him. I'm playing 1 copy of Lake Maiden Leon. You can rest her and discard a card to draw a card. This is just to help you find your combo pieces, in case you haven't found everything yet. And 4 copies of Flash Shield Isild, which is your Sentinel. You always play 4 Sentinels. Now for grade 2, we're playing 4 copies of Blaster Blade, because everybody by now should know what Blaster Blade does. When you place it, Counterblast 2 to retire one of the opponent's grade 2 or higher rearguards. So it's your main use for Counterblast in this deck. And it's very simple, 9k, take out something and start attacking. We're going with 3 copies of Knight of Silent Skeleton, no ability, 10k. 4 copies of Eagle Knight of the Skies. On your turn, if you have more rearguards than your opponent, this unit gets plus 3000. And since it's pretty easy to play more rearguards, especially once you get Garmore's effect going and bring out all your Snoggles, this is usually going to be attacking as an 11k. So that's just there to be able to take out whatever rearguard your opponent has. And also, in case it's not boosted, you can just hit an 11k Vanguard pretty easy. We're playing a single copy of Beast Knight Garmore. On your turn, this unit gets plus 1000 for each of your Snowballs and Brugles. So again, its power just keeps going up, but only when it's the Vanguard. Since it's only a Vanguard effect, I decided not to play any more than the one copy, but it is still pretty useful when you do get him. Besides that, when placed, discard a card from your hand to call a Snowball from your deck. So the same effect that Garmore has. Is that playing it, you'll be able to search for Snowballs. And I'm also playing one copy of Blaster Dark. Simply for the Counterblast to retire one of your opponent's rear guards when he's the Vanguard. And even though he's not a Royal Paladin, you can play him as a Royal Paladin. Then for the other grade 3s, I already covered Garmore, where we're playing 4 copies of Solidary Knight Gancelot, which simply we're not going to be using it for its first effect. If Blaster Blade's in your soul, Counterblast 2 to get plus 5000 and plus 1 critical until the end of the turn. We're not really going to be trying to call or ride Gancelot a lot. Well, the reason we have him in here is for this effect. Return this card to your deck to search your deck for a Blaster Blade and put it in your hand. So essentially, we're just putting our heal trigger back into the deck. So with Gancelot, if we end up drawing the heal trigger, normally in other decks, it sucks. But with Gancelot, you shuffle it right back in and search your deck for Blaster Blade, who is another intercept. So between having all of your already grade 2 intercepts, you can use Gancelot to not only search for an intercept, but also put a heal trigger back into your deck. It just adds a lot of defensive power to your deck. So it keeps heals going, it keeps intercepts coming out, and that intercept also destroys one of your opponent's units. Playing 4 copies of Palamidus. Again, I'm probably butchering the name, I'm sorry. But on your turn, if you have 2 or more grade 3 units, this unit gets plus 3000. Now, you only want to play him as the rear guard, because your Vanguard's already going to be a grade 3. So playing him on the rear guard makes him 13,000 automatically. And with a Snowball or a Marin behind him, he's going to be 21,000 or more on average. So that's the main reason we're playing him. And a single copy of Alfred Early. On the Vanguard, when placed, call a Blaster Blade from your soul. This is just a nice, just in case, because we do need a 13th grade 3. And if you did play a Blaster Blade on your Vanguard, when you play him, you get to bring it out as a free intercept and a free destruction if you have the Counterblast to do so. And that's the gist of the deck. You're just going to keep summoning wolves and use them to support all of your units by powering your guys up a lot while also providing extra defense. So it's a really fun deck to play. We're doing 4 heal triggers and 9 draws because most decks play this way. You want to be able to draw into your pieces and draw into your sentinels. So with that out of the way, let's get some games in and see how the Wolfpack does. Okay, so for our first game, we're playing against Nova Grapplers. Typically looks like a Blau deck. And it's playing pretty quickly. It's already our turn. So our hand looks really good. We've got the Garmore. We have a grade 1 we can ride that's not Snowball or Sentinel. And we have a couple of grade 2s to work with. I mean, both Blaster Blades, but still. Okay. So we're just going to keep it simple. Just attack. No trigger. No problem. And we're done. Next turn is looking like we're going to be playing a Blaster Blade, so I'm kind of hoping we have 2 damage. Death Army Lady. Blau Panzer. Oh, I guess we didn't have that grade 1 earlier. Oh, we're just taking the 1 damage. And the worst first damage, a wasted heal trigger. Alright. Drew another Garmore, don't really need it. We'll probably discard it later. And we're gonna go with Blaster Blade. Not really much options there. Do we want to do anything else? No, because that would involve calling the other Blaster Blade. So we're just going to attack with this. Again, another simple turn. Get a draw trigger this time. Well, that gets us another Blaster Blade. Because I know I'm not keeping that in my hand. Well, your heal trigger is perfectly fine. Great. Good start. Keep it up. But how about we send some other luck my way? Looks like he's all the way up to Stern Blaukluger. And since if Blaukluger's in the soul, it gets plus 1,000. Well, he doesn't have Blaukluger, so it stays at 10. You know, that's a little bit of good news for us. And our second damage is a Sentinel. This is not looking too good. We lost a Snowball. Okay. Well, that heal trigger goes to waste, but it does mean they can hit us now, so not really all that much of a waste. And for our fourth damage, nothing important this time. I wouldn't have been surprised at all if it was another Sentinel or something. Okay. See if we can get this game back on track. We've got our Garmore, since we're going to have all of our extra defense and offense. And let's see, what do we want to discard? I want to discard the other Garmore. Don't really need it. Okay. We got our first Snowball down. We're going to play down another Snowball. And we are sending Gansalot back into the deck. We need all the heal triggers we can get. Okay. So what we can do here is we can go with Blaster Blade, take out the Intercept. Okay. And another question is, do I want more intercepts or do I want more attack power? And honestly, being at 4 damage already, I'm just gonna go with this. I'm not gonna use his effect though. Hopefully there won't be any triggers and we can just do 3 damage. Put us back on equal terms. Okay, that's good. And no trigger again, hopefully. Alright. So that turn worked out perfectly. And we can get all 3 damage in without him getting a trigger. Alright, nothing on that one. And we missed both. That's alright. Yeah, so this time he does get a trigger. His draw. Probably the best thing he could have gotten right now. And that's pretty much it. Let's see what happens now. We have 2 intercepts. But he can use Stern Blaukluger's effect to restand with the Counterblast 2. And Counterblast 2 and discard 2 cards. So we'll see if he goes with that. Alright. Moment of truth. Now this attack's gonna hit. There's no avoiding that. I'm taking at least 1 damage. And there's not a trigger, so he's probably going to go for it. Yep. Since it wasn't a trigger, he doesn't need a trigger himself to hit me. There's no risk. It's gonna use up my sentinel now, though. Nice to see his sentinel go to the bottom, though. Okay, so we can go heavy on this turn. We have enough offense. Question is, do we want to? Just skip the ride. I want to keep my 22 column. We'll go with the other blaster blade to again take out the intercept. Alright. And as much as I want to play Palamigas, I think I'm going to have to play it safe and play an intercept down. Now with any luck, this first one won't be a trigger. Because if it's not, we can bait out his sentinels with Blaster Dart. Alright, perfect. Now if he only has 1 sentinel, we'll be able to attack per game. If he has 2, then we just empty out his hand. Win-win either way. Oh, looks like he had no sentinels. And no trigger. Oh, no heal trigger. Alright, so we're playing against Oracle Think Tanks. And it's not a Tsukuyomi. Gotta figure out what it is. Okay, and luckily it's not a farmer. So this might just be a basic CEO build. Okay. So our alert hand would look a lot better if we could draw a grade 2. There we go. Perfect. Our hand's full of wolves. Oh, 2 wolves. But that's okay, because we also have a Marin. So we don't have to waste one of them. And we're not going to do much else, we're just going to attack. Okay. Do 1 damage and continue. Simple first turn. It goes Promise Daughter. As more cards your opponent has plus 3,000. Okay. Let's see if they get a trigger. Oh right, they have to. They could discard a card to get plus 5,000, and they do. So they don't need to hit a trigger anymore. Good thing they did, because that was a sentinel. Okay, so we start the game with 2 damage. That's okay. Sadly, that's gonna shuffle in and make 5 heals. Oh, they discarded 1, so they have 4 heals left. Alright, and sadly, we only have the 1 grade 2 to work with. Now, I could play down a snowball. No, I think I will. Now, I'm going to play down a snowball. It's going to bump up to 8,000 since there's a brew ball on the field. Now we can take out his intercept and go for 1 damage, putting us both at 2. And hopefully if they don't attack the snowball for whatever reason, I'll just move it back. The problem I'm actually having is that I don't have a lot of stuff to discard to search for another snowball. When that Garmore comes out, I don't want to discard a Sentinel just to get a wolf. Hopefully we can draw into something. You'd think a hand with 3 Sentinels in it would be great, but it's a little bothersome for us right now. Alright. What's this? That's 3,000. Okay. And this one, I already know what it does. Sequoia. When you play it down, all the rear guards go back to the hand, and during your turn you have plus 4,000. If your hand has 2 or more cards. Which it does. 1, 2. Okay. Ouch. That's gonna hurt. And it also looks like we're gonna lose our snowball. Heal trigger helps. Keeps us at just 3 damage. And yep. By wolf. Okay, the rest of the wolf pack will avenge you. Alright. Well, that's helpful. It's something that we can discard, so yay. So play down our Fang of Light. We'll discard the Marin to search for a wolf. Okay. Now the problem is I don't have anything else to attack with. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to use Bruegel. So for Counterblast 3, I'm gonna summon call another Bruegel. And that'll make both of these 6,000. Then if I play this Noble, he'll be at 10,000. Means he can take out his rear guard and do 2 damage, and I'm gonna do just that. And now, thanks to Garmore calling one and Bruegel calling a copy of itself, we have a full field of wolves. Alright. So 7, 7, 14, that won't matter, it's not gonna hit. So we'll go ahead and take out the rear guard. And we'll leave them with working with only the 2 cards in their hand. Unless I hit a draw trigger. Fingers crossed that they don't hit a draw trigger. Okay, heal. That's fine. But it doesn't heal anything, and we still have enough power here. 24,000. So we hit anyway. Alright, no trigger for us. Second check. Still nothing. Both the blasters. But that's okay. We're getting the damage here. No trigger. So now we're leaving our opponent with just 3 cards to work with. You know, this deck kinda looks a bit like my Imperial Daughter deck. It might just be Imperial Daughter. Okay, so no ride. They're sticking with Sakuya. They're playing down another one of their heal triggers. So that's 4 down and 1 left that they can draw into. Or they can check. Alright, so we're losing our wolves, but these are both sentinels, so he cannot attack our Vanguard. Not sentinels, I'm sorry. These are both intercepts. So because of that, we're not taking a damage. They get a draw trigger, but again, all we're losing is Bruegel. Okay, so let's see if we can draw something to attack with. Okay. Blaster Blade works. It'd be nice to have a 3rd column to attack with, but that's okay. Considering we still have these 3 sentinels in hand. So we'll go ahead and attack. Or whether they get a trigger or not, we're still hitting for another damage. Which means that we are going to force a sentinel out of their hand. Unless they don't have a sentinel. Okay. Got a draw. Just put it over here. Just a little bluff that we might play stance, because this is hitting anyway. Okay, didn't matter. And they don't have a sentinel. So we're done. This time we're playing against Kagura's. And our hand looks pretty decent, but no Garmore. Well, no grade 3 Garmore. We'll go ahead with Marin. All our brew go back. And done. I didn't send the Gansalot in right away because I don't want my first damage to be a heal, and the less heals in the deck, the less chances that'll happen. He'll probably be going back in on the next turn though. Okay. We'll take our 1 damage. Okay. And with the next turn, I'm going to go ahead and play down my grade 2, my Beast Knight Garmore, and discard Lien to search for another wolf. And sadly, there's a snowball in the damage now. Okay. So we drew a Sentinel, always nice. We'll play down our Garmore. Like I said, discard Lien. And this is the last wolf in our deck. With 1 in the damage, 1 on the board, and 2 in hand. And I am sending Gansalot in now. So now's a good time to get a heal. I have a damage. But I am not going to call the Blaster Blade. Instead, I will... Yeah. I'm going to call a Snowball. And since he's at 9,000, I'll do my first damage with him, and then attack with 20,000 and call him. Okay, so, even though he got the trigger, I'm still going to be able to do that damage. There we go. And look, heal trigger. Perfect. Okay. So we're back to no damage. And with 0 to 2. Never mind, it's 0 to 1. Because they got a heal trigger too. Just playing down Chain Attack Sutherland. And another one. Okay. Oh, he's going real aggro. Sadly, my Snowball dies. And I'm taking 2 damage. Let's see. Oh, well, if I hit a trigger, if I hit a trigger, then I won't be taking 2 damage. Any luck? Draw trigger? No. Okay. Alright. 2 damage then. Ouch. He's sending some good cards to my damage. Okay. So we don't have a grade 3 to work with. That's horrible. Well, we have a Blaster Blade. We'll use him to take out the Sentinel. the intercept. I don't think I'm ever going to stop confusing those two. Been doing it since the first video. Well, the first gameplay video, the Kagero video. Alright. And thanks to the wolf, we have a lot of power, at least. So even though we don't have a grade 3, we're still hitting for some pretty decent columns. Alright, let's see if he can hit a trigger. Because if he gets no triggers off these damage, then we can hit him for 3. Okay. First one's a dud. Hopefully the second one isn't a trigger. Perfect. For now we're hitting with 20,000. And that's 3. Means the game is now 4-2. Would have been nice if I had a grade 3 though. Okay. Oh, it was pretty lucky that he didn't hit a trigger in the first 2, so I don't mind that he got one now. We are at a pretty big disadvantage though. And now he gets to ignore our intercepts. Okay. So what do you have in store for us? And while he can ignore the intercepts, I'm pretty sure that at least one of them will probably be taken out. Or he can just try to take out the snowball now that he has Tejas. He's going after my wolves. And with Heat Nail, we're losing another wolf. We're losing all our wolves now. Draw triggers. Okay. If we're gonna make any kind of recovery, we need to draw a lot of cards. Yes, I know, my wolf dies. Huge numbers. Oh, I decided to leave my other wolf alone. No draw trigger this time. Okay. Well, it wasn't enough to hit, so I had to take out something. Alright, so what can we draw to help? Alright. Now sadly we are out of wolves to call. And what we're gonna have to do here is hope that we hit a trigger. We're going to take out his Berserk Dragon, then use our Vanguard to attack the intercepts. And if we hit a trigger, we can put it on Snowball and use him to attack the Vanguard. So, first one's a miss. Second one's a heal trigger. Hey! Alright. Love calling them. So, we are still in a terrible spot. But at least the wolf gets to get one more attack in before I am out of every wolf. This is honestly the worst matchup for this deck, because they have a lot of ways to take out the wolves. Especially that Heat Nail. Yeah, that's a big problem. Okay. Oh, all the blockades. Okay, so he misses a trigger. He didn't miss this time. So now, honestly, I'm hoping I don't hit a trigger right away so that he leaves my my rear guards alone. But there's a draw trigger. Okay, that's fine. At least we drew something we can attack with. I was worried we'd draw like a low grade 1 or something. Okay, that's another damage, another draw trigger. Perfect. Great. We're building up some offense. And our last wolf is gone. You know what? That's okay. Because their spirit lives on in Garmore. And he's going to finish things off. Now, what are the chances that all 3 of the cards in his hand are Sentinels? We know there's 1. There's no Blaster Blade, so there's no point in calling Alfred early. And intercepts don't matter since his Vanguard's blockade. So, all we have to do is make sure that there is enough power to force out all his Sentinels. There we go. This really is the last turn. Let's see. Now, I still have 2 heals. If I hit one of those heals, then I can survive the next turn even if he goes for game. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Otherwise, I'd have to call one of these to attack with in case he hits a heal. So yeah, I'm just going to go for it. And with any luck, all 3 aren't Sentinels. Avenge the wolves. Alright, that's the first one that we knew was there. That one's gone. Alright. Here goes attempt number 2. No more Sentinels. I just hope it's not a heal. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. We lost every wolf that game. All 4 Snowgulls and our Brugel were retired. And we still managed to pull it off. So that was some games with Fang of Light Garmore. I like to call it Wolfpack. It is a lot of fun to play. And it's gotten me to some pretty high legend ranks already. And I suggest giving it a try. I know it's a little hard to get for Gancelot and for Garmore, but for a while I was making it work with 3 and 3. Obviously it works a little better at 4 and 4, but you don't need to have a full 4 of each. Even if you don't have 4 Gancelots, just having the Garmores helps. And if you feel like playing some more of the grade 2 Garmore, you can do that too. I just kind of like him at 1. But he works pretty well at 2 as well. Anyway, I wouldn't really change anything else besides that. I like how the deck runs. I like being able to throw heal triggers back into the deck. I like extra intercepts and extra power on my columns. Like you saw in some of those games, it's pretty easy to hit over 20,000 on each column. And yeah, give it a try. I hope you like it as much as I do. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Let me know down below if you enjoyed the video, what you thought I could change in the deck, if anything. Or if you've already been playing Garmore, how's your experience going with it? Because I am having so much fun with this deck. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video.